Today marks a significant milestone in my life as I stand within the comforting embrace of my home, surrounded by its walls that house countless memories. John, his face glowing with pride, greets me with open arms, his excitement contagious as he explores the spacious room with a joy that's hard to resist. We find ourselves in the very heart of my family's home, the place where my father's aspirations came to life. Fortunate enough to amass great wealth, my father dedicated himself wholeheartedly to building this home, transforming it into a magnificent estate worth an astounding $100 million. This house is a testament to his hard work, passion, and legacy, a gift he left for me before he passed. Now, as I journey through life without him, my husband asserts his claim over this precious inheritance, suggesting that what was once solely mine should now belong to both of us. Despite my attempts to convey its personal significance to me, he remains resolute, confident in his stance with an unshakable smile. Yet, I hold on to irrefutable proof of my rightful ownership, documents with my name, Emily, as the sole heir. At 42, my career at an online bank has connected me deeply with the digital world. This path wasn't chosen by chance, but was shaped by the lessons my parents imparted to me. With their financial acumen, they taught me the importance of managing money wisely, values that have remained with me throughout my life. Although I grew up in wealth, my parents made sure I understood the true value of money, encouraging me to appreciate and conserve it. Despite our affluence, my upbringing was grounded in humility. My allowance was modest compared to that of my peers, and fine dining was a rare treat rather than a regular occurrence. I attended a local public school rather than an elite private institution, emphasizing the importance of community over exclusivity. However, rumors of our family's wealth spread, painting an image of a life filled with luxury and indulgence. "Emily, with your huge house and wealth, life must be so easy, right? You must have all the latest gadgets and games. Can we come over to play?" These questions were frequent, but they were far from accurate. My life was not as glamorous as people imagined. Despite not having the most expensive toys or the newest gaming consoles, others believed I lived in constant extravagance. I was often the subject of unwanted attention, with classmates viewing my family's wealth as an opportunity for personal gain. "Emily, you're rich, aren't you? Can you lend me some money?" These requests made me uncomfortable and underscored the stark contrast between the perceived luxury of my lifestyle and the modest values my parents had worked so hard to instill in me. In a twist of fate, I found myself in a tricky situation when I accidentally damaged Maria's gaming console. At the moment, my pockets were empty, and the timing couldn't have been worse. Around the same time, Julie and I had just started our journey as fifth-grade classmates. She questioned whether I had shared this dilemma with my parents, but the fear of their disappointment sealed my lips. "I can't tell them. They might get upset. That's why I'm turning to you, Emily," she confessed. The thought of saying no weighed heavily on me, fearing it might lead to an uncomfortable atmosphere at school. However, my parents' firm stance on not lending money left me with no choice but to apologize to Julie for my inability to help financially. My refusal left Julie in tears, and it wasn't long before whispers began to spread. Accusations were thrown my way, questioning my reluctance to aid a friend in need, given my family's financial stability. I found myself entangled in a situation that I had no part in creating, steadfastly explaining that my hands were tied due to a lack of funds. Amidst this, Maria chimed in with a judgment that stung, suggesting that I valued money over friendship. The situation escalated as Maria and Julie wove a web of lies around me, claiming I had borrowed money without repaying and refused to cover the cost of the broken console. The school's faculty soon untangled the truth, reprimanding Maria and Julie for their actions. Unfortunately, their warnings only fueled the fire, and the rumors spread like wildfire, eventually reaching my parents. In response, my father took it upon himself to address the matter, leading to a meeting with the involved families. Despite receiving half-hearted apologies, I chose to keep my distance from Maria and Julie thereafter, enduring their occasional mocking glances, but no direct confrontation. That evening over dinner, my father offered a piece of advice that I would carry with me for years. With a reassuring smile, he reminded me of the importance of standing firm in my decisions, especially regarding financial matters. Emily, always remember it's okay to say no. You don't have to disclose whether you have money. If someone persists, just say you'll need to ask your parents, even though you know it's not permitted. This lesson on navigating financial disputes with grace and firmness became a cornerstone of my approach to friendships and financial interactions. As I moved on from elementary school and later graduated from university, I became more cautious about whom I invited into my personal space, focusing on building relationships grounded in character rather than material wealth. My career post-university was marked by a deliberate effort to steer clear of financial entanglements, dedicating my energy to my work and maintaining a private personal life. This experience taught me the value of boundaries, both in friendships and finances, shaping the person I've become today. At the age of 35, I crossed paths with John, who would later become my partner in life. Our meeting was orchestrated by a mutual friend, and despite John being a year my junior, his sincere and buoyant spirit quickly won me over. His candor was a breath of fresh air, and it wasn't long before our casual dating blossomed into a serious relationship. 2 years down the line, we celebrated our union with a vibrant wedding ceremony, much to the delight of my parents, who warmly embraced John into our family. About a month into our marriage, my father, perhaps sensing the depth of our bond, proposed the idea of having John over at our place. Although I had full confidence in John, I harbored some reservations about his penchant for conversation, fearing he might inadvertently divulge sensitive family information. However, emboldened by a month of marital bliss, I decided it was time John knew everything about my background. Thus, I extended an invitation to him to visit my parents' home. John's reaction upon stepping into my family's residence was one of sheer astonishment. His awe was palpable, a clear indication that the reality of my family situation had taken him by surprise. The visit, although warm, left John with an insatiable curiosity about our financial standing, a topic broached repeatedly during our journey home. My own knowledge on the specifics of our family wealth was vague, yet John's inquiries stirred a sense of unease within me. A few months after our marriage, I received a troubling call from my mother, informing me that my father had been hospitalized. The news hit me like a ton of bricks, especially when I learned that he had been struggling with health issues that had gone unnoticed by me until then. Reflecting on our last visit, I now recognized my father's diminished appetite and frail appearance, which filled me with a deep sense of regret and concern. That Saturday, when I accompanied my mother to the hospital, I was met by my father's attempt at being cheerful, though his sadness was evident. He apologized for being what he believed was a burden, a reflection of his kind and gentle nature. The diagnosis was devastating: advanced pancreatic cancer, already beyond the point of surgical intervention, leaving us in disbelief and sorrow. It was almost incomprehensible that someone as health-conscious as my father could fall victim to such a cruel fate. In the wake of the diagnosis, my father's determination to ensure our happiness deeply moved me. He expressed a desire for us to cherish life, and this wish brought tears to our eyes. I was committed to making the most of every moment with him, though hospital regulations limited visits to immediate family. My father longed to have his friends around and create joyful memories in our home, a poignant reminder of the life he hoped we would carry on. With this in mind, I promised to preserve our family home as a place filled with warmth and happiness even in his absence. This pledge to safeguard the home became a symbol of my father's enduring spirit and the bond that united our family. Motivated by the desire to honor my father's dream, I decided to renovate our family home, a project that gave me focus and solace during a difficult time. John, ever the attentive partner, expressed concern over how much time I spent with my father in his final days, unaware of the complications surrounding our family estate that I had kept to myself. When he asked about my father's health, I confided in him about the struggles we were facing, finding some comfort in his support. However, as I juggled work, hospital visits, and the emotional toll of the situation, tension grew when John's curiosity shifted to my father's finances and estate. His suggestion to seek legal advice about the financial matters, just in case something happened to my mother too, struck a nerve, stirring painful memories. Though my father had a trusted lawyer, John's insistence on being cautious about the estate created an emotional rift between us. After my father passed away, the topic of inheritance emerged, and I received a significant property valued at $5.5 million. John's growing interest in the inheritance, despite my efforts to keep him distanced from it, only added strain to our relationship. His enthusiasm about moving into the large mansion and his intrusive questions regarding the financial details shocked me, especially when I discovered that my cousin had shared the news about the house at the funeral, casually remarking that it would be a waste if left empty. Despite explaining to John that the inheritance was not something for both of us, but rather solely mine, he seemed indifferent, which led to mounting hostility between us. Although John attended my father's funeral, he distanced himself from the responsibilities that followed, such as the memorial services and the handling of inheritance matters. Eventually, as life began to settle into a new rhythm, John revealed a shocking development. He had changed the ownership of my family home into his name, providing legal documents as proof. This revelation not only shattered the trust I had placed in him, but also exposed a fundamental misunderstanding of the boundaries and respect that should define our relationship. The complexities surrounding the inheritance had brought deeper issues in our marriage to the surface, forcing me to reevaluate our values, trust, and the future of our partnership. The revelation from John left me reeling, struggling to comprehend his actions. He bluntly admitted his fatigue from our relationship, suggesting we could coexist as housemates in the family home, albeit with me receiving minimal financial support. His ultimatum of divorce if I resisted was a jarring twist to our already strained relationship. In a mix of shock and despair, I implored him to reconsider his sudden decision and the unauthorized change in property ownership. John disclosed that he had sought legal counsel to facilitate the ownership transfer without my consent. The situation escalated to the point where divorce seemed the only viable resolution. Heartbroken and disoriented, I began to distance myself from the home and life I shared with John, attributing his betrayal to the corrupting influence of potential wealth. The following day, John's demand for the house keys, claiming ownership of my ancestral home, pushed the situation into further turmoil. His attempts to forcefully enter the property were thwarted by the timely intervention of security personnel. I presented the authentic ownership documents to the guards, firmly establishing my rightful claim to the house and inheritance from my father. John, confronted with the undeniable proof of my ownership, was visibly shaken. His misunderstanding stemmed from a supposed legal advisor named Jerry, who had promised to navigate the complexities of inheritance law on his behalf. Entrusting Jerry with a significant sum of $360,000 to alter the property's registration, John had fallen victim to a deceitful scheme. In the midst of this confrontation, John's emotions surfaced as he repeatedly attempted to contact Jerry, only to be met with silence. His frustration boiled over, denouncing Jerry as a fraudster preying on those blinded by greed. John then directed his bitterness towards me, criticizing my expenditure on what he deemed frivolous, questioning my understanding of inheritance registration and associated costs. Despite his attempts to salvage our marriage, suggesting we reconsider the divorce, the breach of trust and the depth of his deception were insurmountable. I requested the security guard to escort him away, closing a painful chapter of my life. In the months that followed, reflection and distance allowed me to process the events, reinforcing the importance of trust and honesty in the foundation of any relationship. The ordeal with John, underscored by manipulation and betrayal, served as a poignant lesson in guarding against the allure of wealth at the expense of personal integrity. In love, on the solemn occasion of my father's first memorial service held at our family temple, John made an unexpected appearance. Since our divorce, life had not been kind to him. Jobless, entangled in financial woes, and seemingly betrayed by those he once trusted, John cut a forlorn figure. His disheveled state spoke volumes of his plight, standing in stark contrast to the respectful solemnity of the day. As he attempted to express his apologies amidst tears, his actions inadvertently shifted the focus away from the memorial, causing a stir among my relatives. Despite his emotional turmoil, I found myself compelled to ask him to leave, a request that ultimately necessitated intervention by security. This incident, happening during such a poignant moment, left me with mixed feelings. Eager to move forward and distance myself from the shadows of our shared past, I decided to relocate from my parents' home, a decision that had been in the works. I settled into a new abode, severing my connections with John, who, despite everything, continued to visit the family property, now transformed into a thriving rental villa. My mother and I embarked on this new venture together, managing the villa that blossomed into a vibrant place of joy and respite for many. John, on his end, appeared to have embarked on a path of self-improvement, securing a new job and earnestly pursuing a fresh start. The transformation of our family home into a rental villa not only fulfilled my father's vision but also became a welcoming retreat for guests from all walks of life. Renowned for its stunning views and sprawling garden, the villa quickly gained popularity, hosting a wide range of events, from intimate weddings to lively family reunions. Managing it alongside my mother strengthened our bond and provided us with a fulfilling journey in hospitality. Over time, the villa's success allowed us to further enhance its offerings, adding a swimming pool, a cozy outdoor lounge, and a playful area for children. Our commitment to providing a memorable and warm experience for our guests solidified the villa's reputation as a premier destination, attracting travelers seeking peace and unforgettable moments. This venture not only brought my father's dream to life, but also created an opportunity to build cherished memories, reflecting the warmth and hospitality he always imagined for our home. As I tended to the garden of our rental villa, a profound sense of fulfillment settled over me. Turning our family home into a place where guests could gather, celebrate, and create lasting memories filled me with immense pride. I could almost sense my father's pride in what we had accomplished in bringing his vision to fruition. This project had not only realized his dream, but also provided us with financial security and newfound independence. The experience taught me invaluable lessons in trust, money, and the resilience necessary to forge my own path, independent of the past that once defined me. In this journey of self-discovery, I came to understand that adversity has the power to shape a stronger, more determined future. News of John's progress reached me through mutual friends, revealing that he had managed to turn his life around, securing a meaningful job, and learning from his previous mistakes. His personal growth served as a testament to the transformative power of facing challenges head-on and overcoming them. Knowing that he was doing well brought me peace, assuring me that both of us were moving forward on our respective paths toward healing and self-improvement. Ultimately, my father's dream became a catalyst for growth, not just for my mother and me, but for everyone who entered the villa. It became a sanctuary where people could experience joy and create memories to treasure for a lifetime. The villa's success stands as a living legacy of my father's vision, constantly reminding us of the importance of resilience, determination, and the profound impact of realizing one's dreams. Through this venture, we have created more than just a place to stay. We have crafted a source of happiness, a venue for celebration, and a tribute to the enduring spirit of dreaming, big and working tirelessly to make those dreams a reality.